Hello everyone, good evening. Today I'm going to talk about quartz. Now I have made papers at work. I had some time left and I started writing some stuff down that I wanted to talk about. But it has become quite a tome. Look at this. And it's in my own handwriting. Now I got a doctor's handwriting, and that means I'm not able to read my own handwriting after 2 or 3 days because I don't know what I was talking about. I can write nicely, but you know, I just never do it. So yeah, what this all is about, I'm not sure. I'll go into this later, maybe in a second video or when I finish the first. Now, like I said, I'm not sure how long it's going to take this video, so I got my coffee here. Really nice. If you could smell this, mate. Oh yeah, that's good. Vienna coffee is the best coffee there is in my opinion. So anyway, let's start with the rumble. Now, I'm gonna do it all durcheinander. So it's gonna be a hodgepodge of arguments, and let's see where we go. First of all, I wanted to say, when I started out doing watch collection, my first watch was the Citizen. Look, the cat wants to go out. Look at it, man. Come on, push you. Don't worry, he'll find his way through. Let me get the tripod back up. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, when I first started out watch collection, I bought the Citizen. And when I had the Citizen, I found out that I really liked watches. Again, I already knew that, but with the Citizen, it got rekindled. My love for watches came all the way back from when I was 14 or 15 years old. And when I bought the Citizen, my first argument was, well, now I'm going to show every Rolex that I got a watch that is more accurate because it's battery active and solar charged, and you know, it's quite naive in the whole watch world. I wouldn't dare doing that nowadays. But the whole idea about quartz came back to me full circle. Of course, I had since the Citizen, I bought the Omega, the Tudor, the Zenith, and they're all, and the Audemars, and they're all mechanical watches, right? But as I said before in other videos, you have to think about the servicing as well. And if you see about the Zenith is my most expensive watch to service, just a service will cost me about 450 euros. Nothing has changed. So that's why I did it in Holland, because the guy said if I need to replace a part, it's in the service cost. Well, if I send it off to Switzerland, every part is added up to the bill in the end. So I thought, but I still would like to enlarge the collection. But I'm a guy, if I got something, I want to be able to use it. And as far as I know, all the watches except 1 or 2 very old ones, I can wear them anytime. I just wind them up, they're ready to go, they're serviced, they're gone. And of course the Tudor is new, that will go into service in about 3 years. The Zenith will be in service in about 5 years. And the Omegas maybe in about 3 years. So I can do that every year, a few watches. But still it adds up, and especially with 3D printers are not that far yet that I can do anything. So you still might want to have to send your whole watch off to Switzerland and get a third arsehole, like Archie said it. By the way, he just got a nice little trinket there, the Conquest, the Heritage. Really nice watch, especially in gold. Anyway, so like I said, Quartz came full circle. After the Zenith with its 354 parts, I'm not going to go any higher in horology like that. I don't need fucking old horology. I don't need a Audemars that will cost me 2,000 euros every 5 years, so that in 20 years time I paid the watch twice. And still in the meantime I have to wear it like it's, I don't know, it's the last thing on earth. You know, you don't want to drop it. If you drop an Audemars or you drop a Vacheron, or you're fucked. You're fucked. Can you get it? You're so happy. You know, it's the same thing, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not really the law, Murphy's Law, but it's the same thing. You put on a new shirt and you stain your new shirt during dinner. That's what's going to happen with a lot of people getting their Vacheron or the Patek back from Switzerland. They go like, look, I got it back, oh, plunge, and it falls down and you're fucked. So, that's why I came back to Quartz. You know, if I want to have all my watches to run, I got the mechanical ones, but if I get more watches and I don't want to pay too much for service costs, because, you know, Tudor ETA's cheap to service, RMR is a Miyota, cheap to service. The Omegas, they're quite cheap to service. The only expensive one is the Zenith. Well, you know, it's no problem to have one expensive watch to be expensive to service. I have that watch for the movement, the display case, the high beat, the chronometer. It's got everything, that watch. So, you know, I'm fine with that. So anyway, I was thinking about the Grand Psycho Diver 200, the GBX 115, I think it's called. The 200 meter, the white dial with the black bezel. I love that watch. I'm going to get that watch. But it's out of my league. I can't afford it now. I even can't afford the whole watch collection. You know, I'm a guy who works 4 days a week because I didn't decide to go for a career in selling stuff, insurance, or selling marketing or any of that shit. I decided if I'm not going to have a career, I want to have as much free time as I can. So I got myself a very nice job, 4 days a week. Pays me the same amount I would work somewhere else for 5 days in the job that I do. So it's great. I got 3 days off, and I'm actually thinking of, I'm 37 next week, and I'm thinking about working less. Actually, I'm thinking about starting to work 28 or maybe even 24 hours a week. If I can still pay my mortgages, I'll go fishing, man. I don't need to spend the money. I just need the money for the watches. So anyway, let's start with the video. We're 7 minutes in. It's going to be a long one this time. So yeah, that's going to be a shocking announcement on my channel. I probably will not buy a mechanical watch from now on. At least not the next 2 or 3 years. Now, we watch aficionados know and say this all the time. We're not going to buy another watch and a half year later you buy that other watch. Anyway, my idea now, and that's quite certain, is that all the mechanical watches I have, which is the vast majority, are fine. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to service them. But any other new watch for me is probably going to be Quartz. Now, the love for Quartz. Quartz watches are the excellent best beater watches, because you can bump it into a lot of stuff and it probably will just go on and continue going on until you really mess it up. But a mechanical watch, you drop it to the floor and it might just have this one little spring or this gear or this little screw inside. Will go like pop, and you have to bring it to your watchmaker. It will cost you an arm and a leg, and it's all to see. It's all in the head, guys. It's all to know that there is a movement in there, a heart that is beating. So not progress in the form of technology that gives an impulse, like you see on the screen. Oh, there's the cat. See? Hi. So that will leave an impulse, and you can say the same for the mechanical. The only thing with the mechanical is it goes like digga 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 digga, which is so much nicer to look at than tack tack tack. But tell me, guys, if you watch the time in the daytime, right, or you just have a little look at your watch, do you watch the second hand or do you watch the dial and the hands and the whole thing as a whole? So what I'm trying to say is, for example, if I already have a Submariner, why would I buy a Frog or a Hulk, or I mean a green Submariner, and have it mechanical as well? Now I know the Sub is only mechanical, but just for the theory of it, if you already have a version in mechanical, why not buy the other one in a battery? It saves you on service cost. From the outside it looks exactly the same. The only thing different, if it doesn't have a display case, is the way the second hand runs. I mean, is that valid a pena to spend like thousands of euros just to see the second hand goes this, and to know that there is a heart beating inside that watch? I would say yes, because a watch collection can exist fine without a Quartz watch. On the other hand, a watch collection it can't be marked as a collection if it doesn't have a mechanical watch. If it only is Quartz watch collection, it's a bit sad. If you have a whole watch collection and you put a few nice Quartz pieces in there, fine with me. So, but like I said, the GS Diver is going to come up in my collection, but that's going to be a Grail watch. That's not a watch I'm going to wear every day. Although it needs a service after 50 years, it's the same with the Zenith. It's not a watch I'm going to wear every day. It's just too expensive. And believe it or not, oh sorry, it's another watch. Believe it or not, guys, and I know I'm a bit biased about this, but I'm almost 100% sure that the Guideauxpelagos first edition will become a very highly sought after watch in about 20-25 years time. And I don't want to use it as a beater for the moment. I want to actually I might bring it into a service earlier than the next couple of years, get it all cleaned up until it's really like new again, and then take very good care of it and buy another beater watch. And that's what I might do after this video, or maybe later. I'm not really sure yet. So, yeah, you know, Quartz, it's technology, it's progress. What is wrong about Quartz? It's modern. It's like the LP versus the CD versus the MP3 with Quartz, with spring drive being the MP3, Quartz being the CD, and mechanical gears being the analog. Now, I'm a big analog fan, but I don't dismiss CDs or MP3s. If I'm on the road, I'm going to have the MP3. I'm not going to have a CD or all that other shit with me, which is logical because you don't want to. So that's my idea about that. Just don't get that wrong. I love mechanical, but Quartz definitely has its place, and I'm beginning to enjoy Quartz a lot and a lot more than I did before. So yeah, for example, you buy a Omega Seamaster Professional 300, which the mechanical ones is what, 3,000 euros? Maybe a bit more, I don't even know. And you get the Quartz version for maybe half the money. And the only difference, well, sometimes the size is a bit different, or the dial, but in general, the only difference, correctly, is the movement, which you don't see. So the only thing you see is actually the second hand moving. Now, if you buy a replica watch, then you can see, I don't see difference, so it's the same. No. But if it's from the same company, only they decided to put a battery in instead of a movement, I'm more than okay with that if you already have a lot of mechanical stuff going on. So in that sense, I really understand Quartz. Yeah, there I am again. Had a short break. Sometimes you have to take a short break. As you can see, I almost finished my coffee in the meantime. Good. So, where was I? Yeah, it's all snobism versus practicality. If you're a snob, you say you can't take a Quartz watch, it's just not done. And if you're practical, you say, hey, fuck it, I got a mechanical watch. Why would I need another one? Let's buy a Quartz one. And you know what it is? And it's the whole thing with the whole horology. Nobody cares what you wear. Nobody's jealous at you. If they're jealous, probably more people are jealous of you than actually care about what watch you wear. So when you buy a watch, you buy it for yourself. Never buy a watch to be part of the gang or to get the kudos from outside. Because the kudos you get are from people who know nothing about horology. If you wear your Submariner and you flash it around, you get a lot of kudos. And probably the watch enthusiast will say, hey, nice sub. But if anybody there would walk around with the vintage stuff, nobody would care, nobody would notice. Only the watch aficionado, and he'll go, hey man, let me have a look, that's a nice vintage piece, where did you get that one? Much more stuff to talk about than just another sub, because, you know, that's the standard. That's what the gold standard, as they say. And you can talk about gold, but you can talk about rings and ancient rings and artifacts and all that kind of shit. And then you get a completely different discussion. So just remember, nobody gives a shit about what you wear. And in that sense, don't deny yourself the experience of having a luxury watch, even if it's Quartz. Because the general public don't know the difference. You're not wearing a fake watch, you're wearing a watch in Quartz. And you might have any reason to buy watch in Quartz, not only because it's cheaper, but because maybe you do something that a lot of shocking goes in. Maybe you're a drill in the street and you don't want to have your mechanical watch to get fucked, so you buy a Quartz watch. or you just like Quartz better. You know, it's absolutely actually possible that people like Quartz better. Some people might want to enjoy the second, just ticking on the second, and not like 10 times in between. You know, it's the same reason why I love just Western music, and I don't really get the Eastern music with the 16 notes. You know, it's like, you know, it's like why I don't like Beyonce. It's like she's on electric currents in her ass or something. Oh, don't go into that further. Anyway, so nobody cares. It's a bit like an electric car, you know. If you know the Teslas and some other electric cars coming out, you might be a bit of a Jeremy Clarkson going like, well, I want to have this big clutch, you know, I want to have the gasoline, I want to smell the fumes, That's all snobism, guys. That's all snobism. You know, the only thing sorry, I just looked here, and I thought I saw a face, so it just scared me a little bit. So yeah, it's all snobism saying I gotta have a gasoline power-driven car. If you get a car on electricity that goes faster, the only bad thing about electricity vehicles is you don't hear them coming. And in that sense, they're very dangerous, especially for kids playing with balls on the street and stuff. You know, normally you hear the scooter or you hear the car coming up, so you look and kids just run up, but at least they'll hear something. But now they don't hear anything as well. The car's just there. So, yeah, not a good thing. Anyway, and then we'll say, well, if you buy Quartz, the resale value. Well, I'm going to say it again. Fuck the resale value. You buy a watch because you like it. You don't buy a watch to sell it to somebody else later on. If that's your thing, you're a dealer. You're not a collector or an aficionado. So, and of course, it's bullshit to buy a watch that is 6,000 euros, and the moment you take it out of the shop, it's only 3,000 euros left. I mean, I agree that's not a good deal. But how many people buy Mercedes and BMWs new, knowing that the moment they drive it out of the shop, the car drops $10,000, $20,000 in price? I mean, you can buy a Rolls Royce here in Holland for about 10,000, 20,000 euros, and it will drive. So, it's all in the head. You know, the whole snobism about mechanical and Quartz and what you should and what you shouldn't, and you should buy that Rolex and you shouldn't buy that Tag Heuer and you should do this. It's all in the fucking head. It's not reality. It's not reality. It's in the head. And if it's in your head, you had people putting it in your head by watching too many YouTube videos about watches, just like I did. And, you know, I saw the video that Andy was talking about Quartz, and he's not a Quartz fan. I can get that. I really can get that. And I don't agree with him. But he did give me one of the best advice anyone could give anyone who likes horology. And I'm going to give it to you again, because Andy gave it in one of his videos a few years ago. And he said, if you really like, I think it was talking about tattoos, but it could have been about watches as well. I don't know. Get the gist. In general, if you want to buy a watch and you really, really like that watch and you want to have it and you want to go to the shop tomorrow and buy it, maybe even on credit, don't. Wait 6 months and then get it. Let's see if you still have that same love in 6 months. And after that 6 months, you want to get it because you still feel, you don't get it. You wait another 6 months. You save up your money. You wait another 6 months. And after that year, or maybe a year and a half, then you go. If you want to have that watch, don't buy it today. Because then you'll be one of the assholes talking about the resale value because they have to justify the reason why they're selling the watch they just bought 5 months ago. Because they actually didn't really like the watch at the end. But I can't say that they're fucking stupid. Unless they say, well, I will sell it because the resale value. Fuck the resale value. It's just not, it doesn't have anything to do with horology. It's only interesting if you want to sell your watches. By the way, I might be selling the RMR. So if anybody's interested in the RMR, just let me know. And let me know what your price is. Just remember that the RMR I have, the blue one, it's already sold out. It won't be available. So it's the first watch from that brand. And it's sold out. Anyway, let's go back to the Quartz. Yeah, I was talking about justification. You know, there are only unwritten rules in horology. There aren't any rules in horology, only unwritten rules. So you're free to break them. And with the general public, they won't know shit if you break your rules. Only the watch aficionados will know if you break the unwritten rules. Like, I don't know, getting a Casio, like the Casio around the world next to a Patek or something, you know? It's okay. Or a Patek on a NATO or that kind of shit. I actually love breaking the rules in that sense a bit. So we're almost on 20 minutes, I think. So let's hurry up a little bit here. So that's why I decided to... What's it? Oh yeah, it's just one more thing about justifications, right? You don't deny yourself the experience of owning that watch. You can buy a $3,000 Seamaster Professional 300, or you buy a $1,000 Oris. I'm just fucking up here. Or you buy a $1,000 Seamaster Professional Quartz. It is still Omega. It's still the same quality build. The only difference is, except sometimes it's the size and stuff, the difference is the movement. That's it, guys. Really, is it worth all the money? Especially if you already have those mechanical watches. It's about the aesthetics. It's a shocking announcement maybe, but I'm becoming more and more into the aesthetics and how does it look instead of what's under the hood. And that's not really me. It's not really me to say I like the looks more than the essence. But in this sense, it's like a car. If you're going to have a car and you're not allowed to drive faster than 120 kilometers an hour in Holland, why would I drive a Ferrari? And why wouldn't I get a very nice road car that will go 200, but 120 is the nice speed, so it will drive easy and all the stuff, the Beeman W, whatever. So, you know, it's all about, you can take your Ferrari or your Lamborghini on the road, but you'd be stuck in second gear on the freeway. And you know, I remember this little joke. They had this improv joke. Michael Schumacher in a traffic jam. Let me give you the impression of Michael Schumacher in a traffic jam. Bop! Bop! Hope you get it. So it's the real thing. Don't deny yourself. It's, and you know, and the justification of the Quartz. It is sometimes the same justification as the people who buy a golden watch and have to justify why they bought a golden watch, that it's twice the price of the same watch in stainless steel, while the actual value of the gold in the watch is far less than the amount that is doubled in the price. You have to justify. You don't want to have a gold, you didn't have a golden watch yet, you did blah, 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 blah. Rules that aren't there. Don't justify why you bought a certain watch. You liked it. If somebody said, why did you buy that watch? You said, why do you think I bought that watch? Because I fucking liked it. Yeah, it's so simple. So I decided to not get the Grand Seiko just now because I don't have the money, but I wanted to have a Beta watch. Now, the Guideauxpelagos is my beta watch, but like I said, you know, I want to keep it, I might want to keep it nice because it isn't really a beta watch, is it? And the Zenith is far from a beta watch, although I wear it like every other day or stuff. And now I found a watch. It will cost me around, I think, 600 euros. And that will be my beta watch. It's a Quartz watch, of course. And it will be a beta watch for the Grand Seiko coming up maybe next year, or in 2 years or 3 years. And I wonder if you can find out, put in the comments if you know, if you think that you know which watch I will buy. It is a beta watch. It's a plain watch, no chronograph, no bezel. It's a semi-dress sporty watch. It's Quartz, and it's a good brand. It's a good brand name with a lot of history. And that's what I'll say about that for now. Okay, guys? The love of Quartz and the beta watch. Unboxing coming on soon as I get the money together. And let me see what I had written down on the other one, and we'll go through that a little bit quicker. The joy of a lesser brand. Actually, I think that's a very interesting topic as well, because I can enjoy wearing, for example, you know, I was wearing this Simon Seiko for a week or so. And I love to wear this watch. It is fun to wear another watch sometimes, and it just looks nice. I got the bezel to turn again, Simon, and it's just, you know, I love that little watch. It's just got a nice little ring to it. People actually gave me more compliments on this watch than I ever got on the Tudor. So, you know, people don't know the difference. If you put them next to each other, they will see that there's difference in build, but the difference in price they will never understand. Don't try to explain that to them. So yeah, the joy of a lesser brand. It's and even if you wear a Psycho for a week, then put your Patek back on your wrist. Excuse me, man, you will love the Patek like you got it the first day. And as well, you know, if you change around the NATO straps, if you don't, one little tip everybody knows this, but anyway, if you got a watch, you want to have another watch, but you don't have the money, buy a few NATO straps, buy a leather strap, experiment a little bit with the watch you have, and try different straps. You'd be amazed how many different looks you get suddenly from a watch. I mean, the Armor, like I said, which I might be selling, it's on a leather band because I like the look of the watch so much better on a leather band than on the bracelet. Well, the bracelet is actually pretty nice. Just to show you how I write, Leah. It's almost Middle East writing, but it's just Dutch. But anyway, and the joy about a lesser brand is less theft. There's no jealousy. There's recognition by actually how the watch looks and not really the brand name. There's no worries when you wear it, you know. That's why I'm gonna get the Beta watch, so that I can put that watch on everywhere I go. Like I said, the Tudor, I'm sometimes a little bit precautious, you know. I'm going out and I don't know if I'm gonna be in a mud fight with two nice chicks or whatever, you know. So I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I probably put the Tudor on, but it's still got the bezel. It's still, you know, it's not fragile. It's the tool watch per se, but still, it's. I want to have a watch that I can just put on, and if I get into a car crash and I survive, I don't mind if my watch didn't or did. It's going to be one of those watches that I'm going to put on when I don't know what's going to happen. If I go on a holiday, if I go on fishing, if I go that watch that I'm going to buy, I've checked it. Everything's got all the things I need. And, you know, that's the watch I want to be able to just put on and forget about it. And I've noticed that as much as I want to do that with the Tudor, I can't just put it on and forget about it. I still have the idea that I'm wearing a exceptionally nice timepiece, and I should be a little bit more careful with it than I am. So that's the reason I'm thinking about getting the Beta watch. So what do we have more? No inspirations, a man, a joy. I found it very interesting, for example, from the Zenith, which is a completely different story. Archie Luxury didn't like the El Primero display. He didn't thought that the El Primero deserved a display case. I'm not sure he knows what an El Primero is. Anyway, you know, if you're talking about Steve McQueen this and Steve McQueen that, the guy's been dead for 35 years. The people who pay that money for Rolex and Steve McQueen and shit are the people who've seen those movies. So there are the people around 50 years old, 60 years old. They know Steve McQueen. They saw his videos. They saw his movies. They worshipped him as an idol. There is nobody talking about the watch that James Dean was wearing. Now, James Dean was an icon even far beyond Steve McQueen. And he probably wore a watch, but it's just too long ago. So the whole Steve McQueen thing will play out for another 25 years, and then everybody who knew Steve McQueen will be dead, and there will be a next generation, and they'll pay for the watch, they'll pay for the legend. But if you say it's the Steve McQueen watch, they go like, yeah, sure, mate, whatever. And that's time, guys. That's not something I make up. That's reality. And I think nobody said it better than the asshole himself, Steve Jobs. He says, the best thing about life is death, because death forces life to progress and move on and not stay stuck in the same rut. That is the best hope for a lot of countries with slaves and people having it bad and dictatorships. The dictator will die one day. Kim Jong-un died. Now you got Kim Jong-il. He'll die one day, and one day the country will be free. It might take another 4 or 5 sons of family members, But in the end, it's nature forcing progress. So do with it what you like. And then again, yeah, who do you want to impress? You know, you want to. Oh, my ear! Fuck my head. So who do you want to impress? You want to impress yourself, or what? You gotta be. You want to be impressed by the watch. You don't buy a watch to impress somebody else. This is just something I still don't understand. Is luxury rare? Well, a Submariner. Is it luxury? Yes. Is it rare? No. And then I get to a point that I think I'll probably never gonna buy a Rolex or an Omega again, because you know it's so well known. People recognize it everywhere. There isn't much fun. You know, they recognize it, they know what it is, there's not much story in it. And life is all about stories. You know, I could tell the story about this Omega. I love this Omega. Look how it looks in this shirt, man. It just... this wasn't an expensive watch. And it's got the crackle dial. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, there you go, you can see it. If this would have been a Rolex, I wouldn't be able to wear it, because it would be vintage, it would be a crackle dial, it would be very highly sought after. And this is an Omega, so it's okay. That's why I love the watches I wear. And I don't buy them to sell them. I like it when the price goes up. Sure, one day I might sell them and go on a holiday or something. But in the end, it's not about the resale value, like I said millions of times before. And I think it's also the culture. If I see, with all due respect, guys, Andy, Don, and Archie, and when they show their Rolex, and they're talking about their Rolex, and it's very it feels quite American. Without trying to be how do you say, patronizing. You know, every culture is different, no problem. But in Holland, we have a saying that's act normal, you're silly enough. And what I see, especially with a lot of Rolex, is that they go, "Oh, look at me now, I'm part of the gang." And if you do that in Holland, you're fucked. You're gonna be neglected, you're gonna be ignored, and you're gonna be washed away with the bathwater, because suddenly you're a snob. And if you can do that and get away with it, then you're a successful Dutchman. Think about that. Dutchies, you know what to do. So yeah, that's about it. I think I handled all the stuff that was on there. It was quite a long one. I think I passed half an hour. I don't do that often. I'm not going to do that either a lot, because I don't hardly watch any videos longer than 10 to 15 minutes, because I just don't have the intention, span, time, or interest, to be honest. I mean, if I get 4 or 5 subjects in one video, I tend to skip. And that's the reason why when I make a very long video with different videos in it, like the Armenia or the England videos, I put in the descriptions, I put chapters. Because if somebody talks about a camera, a watch, a cap, and clothing, and I only want to see the clothing, I don't want to spend 4 to 5 minutes trying to find out where somewhere in the 40 minutes it starts. I just want to see 20 minutes it starts this, 50 minutes starts this. It's just like television, guys. Okay, I think I've handled enough, and I wish you all a good evening. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you next time, guys. And don't worry about Quartz. It's okay. It's okay. And tell me, which Quartz watch, beater watch, do you think that's coming my way in a few weeks? Let me know. Ciao, bye, guys. Ciao.